Good afternoon. Welcome to one more episode of AwakeNomada. Today I am in Barbados with a New Yorker DJ that I met here. I have the pleasure to dance to her flow. Her name is Carolina, and we're going to start with the quote that inspires you before we introduce you a bit deeper. So please.
Well, the quote that inspires me most would be, the most important things in life are love, gratitude, and bass.
Okay, so Carolina, this space is yours, and I want you to introduce yourself. Tell me how an international relations and diplomacy woman ended up being such an amazing DJ. Like, what connects you with music, how that started, please.
Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I have always been a fan of hip hop. I grew up with Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z, Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, like all those artists, like New York rappers. And so I've always loved that. And as a Caribbean, like coming from the West Indies, my family's Bayesian, enjoyed particularly dance hall music from the 90s and reggae and as well as roots and culture and social commentary. That's always been so important to me, like hearing people talk about the issues and solutions, and just like Bob Marley, for example, like just so moved by his work. And I wanted to learn how to DJ I had like lots of CDs, but I never got the opportunity. Then I started traveling all over the world for university and also a bit for work. And I learned about house music, which I didn't learn about in New York, which there's a house scene as well. I just got into house music like Bob Sinclair and David Guetta and just all these different artists, Armand Van Helden, and saw some of them perform live in Asia. And then still not quite getting my hands on some decks, but just being always in a DJ booth or on the DJ's list, or like working with musicians in college and stuff. Later on, when I moved to Europe, I was able to I had friends who had vinyl and just go over and just learn how to DJ on vinyl. And this genre was techno, acid, and trance music, which I just have an appreciation for good music. So if it's good, it's good.
I can feel it. Like I told you this, that the first time we met, so I went to a festival last year, and when I listened to her music, it was like going back to that place because it was like a very tribal Asian kind of vibe. It took me in a bit of a trip, and I wasn't expecting it actually, because I'm here in the Caribbean. It was like by the sea in a kind of party place,
a restaurant,
and then suddenly, exactly, it's like a restaurant place, and suddenly I'm laying down, and when I look up, I was like that, and you were behind, so music was coming through my head. I was like, this is amazing. I can feel that you have that taste, and as well, the fact that you mixed that day, if I am not mistaken, is some Indian, Egyptian or Arab kind of, and then the tribal, and I was like, this is the woman. I wasn't expecting that, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What would you say that music means, or the particular music that you do? What does it mean to you? How does it move you?
I think as a DJ, which I just see myself as a student of music. I don't see myself like David Guetta or or like Kevin Saunders or yet.
Yes, I've already told you. Yes, you have to give us this pleasure in Europe in the festival. I don't know how, but you have to get there and make people dance, because every time I hear your music, same with the fashion show in Silk Road, and when you are, it's just like it comes so inside my body. So you have to give us that pleasure. Continue.
Absolutely, and I look forward to that, because that's the point of being a DJ, is reading the crowd and understanding how to get people to move. So I gently, like I start just like convincing people, because people are not necessarily used to the sound. So I do mix Arab influenced, Latin influenced, Spanish vocals, African vocals, and Sanskrit mantras. And I don't necessarily know what the song is about. However, the essence and the vibe is communicated through the sound. And so I feel it, and this is something that I want to communicate. And also there's English as well. So each set that I have, there's always a message, and the message is about love and gratitude. And there's also always heavy bass.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, you know, just getting people to accept, or like to like drop their expectation, because it's not necessarily what, especially here in Barbados, they don't expect this vibe, but I'll get like I'll convince you through the sound that, whoa, you know, like listen to those drums, like that is your primal calling, like this is your you know, this is your primal calling, like you have to move, you have to, your soul needs this, you know. I'm speaking to your soul.
Yes, it's liberating. It
Yes.
is indeed. You talked to me in our first conversation because I was thinking like how out of curiosity, how DJs made just what you're saying, convince people to dance and stuff. And there was something that you told me that you actually go and care about your audience and ask them. And so tell me a bit of how it works when you want to connect with the audience, because it's people you don't know. I mean, if they are there, it's because they like the music, but they don't know what to expect.
It's true. It's true. So it really depends on the venue. So I have my residency at Wyndham's Hotel, Sam Lord's Castle, and it's the hotel guest. So I always, when I arrive, I ask where they're from. So when I know where they're from, and I ask like, oh, so what kind of music do you like to listen to? So I listen to them like, okay, and then I'll work that into my set. But when it's someplace more where I don't necessarily have to take that into account, it is still important for me. So at the festival, for example, we're in Barbados, and this is a West Indian crowd. But I don't play soca, calypso, dancehall. I do if I have to, but those are not my genres. But so I was, for my set, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to find a way to connect with these people at a very, very primal level, so that when I continue to play, they already feel connected, like they're a part of it. So it's a bit of convincing. So that's literally all I do. I spend some time thinking about that, and then the rest just is really God. I have to say it just is like a conduit. Like I just, like after I do that, which is conscious, everything else that comes out after that is just a flow.
Wow, that is amazing. It's amazing. As well, you need to be aware how many different people is in there and stuff. Like I was really connected through the fashion show. Okay, to put you in context, we have a festival last weekend here in Barbados, and she DJ for the fashion show, and there was like local people. I felt the music really connected to the style and clothing that was going on in the walkway. So for me, that was like, how does she? But everything is connected at the end of the day. It's art as well.
Yeah.
So
and that actually was completely off the dome, as we would say in New York. Like that was, I did not get the music from the fashion, from the designers, and I had 0 minutes to prepare.
I love that. Like
0.
I know, like people say, some people say like, oh my God, no, you used, but it was so spontaneously and flowy.
100% spontaneous.
I love that.
100% spontaneous.
I love it. So how long have you been DJing then?
I began learning about 14 years ago on vinyl.
Okay.
But I'm always listening to music. So when I finally got my own decks, maybe 10 years ago, and started and still like playing with vinyl and stuff, I never really got it. You know, I never had the time to invest in it, but I was trying all the time, and I played out. I played in different places. Like we we played in different places. We actually would break into abandoned warehouses in Sweden and do raves and stuff. Yeah, I did that.
Oh, the rave. That is
Yeah.
a point that I want. So this
Yes.
woman organized something incredible here. Please talk to us about that project and like how was born that, where this idea come from, because that is really sick. So
Yeah. So there is this beautiful place in Bottom Bay, and it's a cave, and it's absolutely stunning. You have to walk down to the beach, and so it's a cave, and then the beach in front of it, and it's on the full moon. The moon is right there on the water, and it's so bright. It's absolutely stunning. We actually did one of these parties during a full moon. It was really fun. So this isn't, well, I'm not the first person to do this. I kind of joined a group of people who are doing it. I was asked to actually by the DJ, like, okay, he heard me play. He actually heard me play for 5 minutes and said to me, listen, there's something that we need to do together. And I tell you, I put on one track and he was like, yes.
you are that person I was looking for.
Yeah. She's like, you know what, honey, this is what we're going to do. So we were able to do it on our birthday, which is so funny. We found out we had the same birthday in a conversation while we were DJing at another event. And we were planning the next rave in the cave. That's what it's called, Rave in the Cave. So my friend Alex, he branded it. And I've joined this now. And, you know, initially I was very hesitant. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I have 2 little boys. I'm like, oh, I can't give all this energy and not get any money because we don't monetize this. But after doing the first one, it's so addicting because it's like, man, this is better than money.
But it's because it's I think that is the root of DJing, this finding this kind of connection with nature, the music, and the people.
Yeah.
That pace.
Yeah.
I know.
It's the soul, you know, soul food. It's soul food.
It's amazing.
And then also you don't have to, like, now I don't have to actually care. Even though I know a lot of my audience is Spanish speaking, for example. And I do have like lots of Spanish, like salsa, what I call salsa, Latin electronic music. So I know 50% of my crowd is Spanish speaking. I will cater to that. A man walked up to me and was like, oh, I'm from Italy. I like your style. You're from Italy? I have something for you. You know? Yeah, so and so I put it on and he was like,
amazing. Really.
Always connecting. So once you have that channel to a person's soul for them to be open, then it's exciting.
It's amazing. And how do you manage with your 2 boys DJing? Because you're really popular here by the look of things, and I'm like, how this woman does, like, how do you find it?
Yeah,
the balance.
Yeah,
please.
It's really difficult. I tell you that much. But I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do something I really like to do, and the opportunity to like take care of my children, which I have a lot of help from my mom.
Right.
And I homeschool my oldest, who is 6, and then the little one is 3 and is in nursery. So it is a very delicate time in their development, and I get to spend most of it with them. But this little thing is just for me, you know, just to be like, feel like a creative being and continue that, you know, because my photography, I'm a photographer, and I'm not like taking this, you know, like in using Lightroom and doing all that. But with DJing or music, because I'm always listening, I'm like, you know, I listen to music for 10 hours and I'll get like 5 new songs. Yeah, I mean, very, very, you can hear from every track is great. Like every track, and that's the energy, you know? So there's no messing about. It's going to get you moving, you know? Wow. Always, yeah.
I love that. I really love that, and I felt it. I honestly, for me, like I connect with DJs and this kind of music. Not long ago, I have to say, but I didn't know I have such a passion and had such a taste because I'm like very particular for what I listen with that. So yeah, definitely.
I can see that.
Okay, thank you.
and it's also nice to convince people, because in this place, people don't hear this.
So, I see. That's a thing. How do you find it too challenging to connect with?
It's really difficult. So like at my job at the hotel, I started off playing a few things that I like to play, but I realized that people weren't really that open to it. So once I feel like, okay, people are not open to this sound, then I give them what they're accustomed to, but I don't do it in the same way. So I will play soca, dancehall, and reggae. Soca, dancehall, calypso, reggae, dub. But I play it in kind of like an older fashion.
Okay.
Not how it's played today. Like it's like fast food today.
Yes.
It's very, I mean, songs are 2 minutes. I'm used to a song like being 8 minutes, and you've got like a whole story, and there's a development, and there's a break, and there's a context. You find yourself, you lose yourself, you get surprised, but music nowadays, commercial music is just fast food.
But at the end of the day, music and everything else we consume visually or like even what we eat is becoming really easy to take and throw and take. So I really appreciate when people take the time and care on just what you were saying before, like I have to know my audience and know like what to offer and stuff, and if you can give them better quality of that thing that they like, that makes it, because you are really feeding a soul or like feeding someone's spirit by whatever you produce. So this is really important for me here in AwakeNomada, is that is to inspire these people, like to see art as this thing that is huge and feed us and keep us alive. And for me, it has taken me out of darker places so many times.
Absolutely.
As well as it has put me
Absolutely.
in. So it's like, it's deeper than we think if we are not connected to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It connects us to ourselves and to each other, and to source. And it's a emotional, it's a spiritual, it's an intellectual journey. And if you're being fed like with the right things, or with things that of quality, I can't say things are right or wrong, just something that is of like more depth, it can give you some energy.
Meaningful, yes.
Yeah, some energy and some inspiration, particularly inspiration. Yeah. I think it really stinks to walk around being uninspired.
It is. Yeah. Wow. Is there any project of yours or like something that you have done that you say this is like, wow, this is the best, that you feel really proud? Or in the contrary, something that is been challenging, that took you a while to develop?
I would definitely say planning a DJ set has taken me a while to like really kind of start to master that.
Okay.
And I did it for Silk Road. It was like, okay, I'm gonna have it, because I know the ethos of the festival. So knowing the ethos of the festival, I decided to like take like a conscious journey instead of like just showing up and seeing where it happens. And from that experience, it helped me to say, okay, well, I don't necessarily need to know everything, because I'm a bit of a control freak in that, Okay. Otherwise, it's like if I feel like I need to plan something, like I need to know everything before I can execute, or I just go with the flow. And either one can be, both modes are stressful. Even if you can't see it, I'm completely stressed.
You sit there like on your line, like align with what you're doing. So like obviously, but those are emotions that as well are part of everything we do at the end of the day.
That is what I'm proud of, I would say. I'm definitely proud of, actually what I'm most recently proud of is the performance at the fashion show, because that was under a lot of pressure, and I had to work with MCs, and I had to be cognizant of designers, and I had to be cognizant of my crowd, and I had no plan. to execute.
And you nailed it.
And I nailed it. Yeah. And I truly am really proud of myself for that moment, because it was complete, utter chaos. And not to mention the DJ before me, like, just cut off the music. He said, "Oh, are you ready?" And I said, no, I don't know which channel I'm on. I need the sound engineer because I'm not sure. And he just cut off the music where he could have kept playing.
Oh my God.
You didn't realize?
No, I didn't.
And so Mishka kept speaking, but he was on a totally different channel, so he could have kept playing music until we found the sound engineer and I got set up. Completely cut the music off.
Oh my God. I was there for the whole fashion show, and I was like, no, I didn't really notice anything. So Mishka and you were really good together, because it was seamless.
It was silent. It was silent. I was like, okay, I just told you that I'm not ready. Like, normally DJs would, speak to each other. Okay, so are you ready? Do you want to prepare a track? What else do you need? So that I just, keep it going until you're set up.
Mm-hmm, of course.
That's how it works.
It wasn't the case. Okay, good job. Very good job for that. Anyways, do you have any project coming soon? Something that you are excited for, or like that you want to share?
Well, we are going to be doing. Well, I'm going to be back here right now. Currently, we're in VO Lounge, which is where I started back DJing last year. The woman that owns this place, she kind of like pushed me in the deep end of the pool. And I DJ'd here every Friday, and I'm going to be coming back here. She asked me just yesterday to come back here to DJ on Friday nights. So I'll be starting that next week. So that's going to be pretty nice. I have Rave in the Cave coming up, which myself and my partner, we're going to be, me and Alex, good friend, going to be putting on in May. And then Nova Luna, which is an event company here, which is more of like this same European style festival kind of vibe. They're putting on a party and asked me to be like the center DJ, so I'll be playing the middle shift, which is like the shift that you really want, which is fun to be asked to do that.
Of course.
After, because I spent many years not DJing, so like to just come back out and just like be in the spotlight and just like, okay, got to work out some kinks, but you manage the crowd. So Nova Luna, Rave in the Cave here at VO Lounge, and hopefully I get to go to Tomorrowland. And I do have a friend who offered to take me to Burning Man next year.
Are
to
you
actually
play? No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
I know.
That's
and that was,
huge.
I mean, that for me, that was like a 10-year plan. Like 10-year plan, I go to Burning Man, my children will be old enough, like one is on violin, the other one is on piano, and we do that in 10 years. He's like, no, next year we go to Burning Man.
Good.
And you play with me.
Is what I'm telling you, that you have to get out there for people to listen the music that you do.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I mean, I think with art, we have this imposter syndrome all the time, coming in and out and telling how we cannot or we should know, whatever. But I honestly think that telling to a talented person you are talented, like you have to get out there.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad for that. I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it because it's like, okay, is it actually going to happen? Like, Burning Man? Like, are you like that's? And then this person is a well-seasoned DJ, international DJ, DJ'd in over 20 countries, and he like heard me play and he said, "You got to work out some kinks, but you're good enough to play at Burning Man." I said, "Whoa."
Wow.
And I've got similar comments from like people in the industry or people like adjacent to the industry, like, yeah, keep it up, girl. Like, thank you. I have a lot to work on, but I am so humbled and so grateful for the opportunity to share what I actually really love, and I think it's so much fun to see people dance, and people are like, oh, I didn't even know I liked this. And it's so nice, especially here in Barbados, where people are not used to this type of music, like this kind of electronic sound, deep house, kind of like soulful sound that's in different languages that they're not used to, that they're like, yeah, actually, I like this.
Yes, but
this
they
is
connect.
good.
It's because it goes beyond superficial sound. Like the music that I hear that is more popular is like, for my understanding, is like reggaeton in Latin America, which is not really good music for the soul and stuff. And I think that you have that kind of music here as well. And as well, you are used, like the Caribbean people is used to the same thing. So breaking through that is a challenge, definitely.
Yes.
Is a challenge.
Yes.
So well done for that.
Huge challenge. Most of the parties are most of an international audience.
Yeah.
So it's mostly Europeans, Latin Americans, people from, Canada, US. But there are a few Bajans, Barbadian people, and local, or like regional, like Caribbean people. And they appreciate it. But these people also like have traveled.
They are well traveled, so they understand.
You
That
know?
is another thing, like when you start traveling, which you love obviously, is that it opens something on you to not be discriminatory in music. Like you learn to appreciate the different sounds and different cultures that are like in music, and then put it together in a place and show it to people that is not used to. That is like opening them a window or a door to something that they don't know.
Absolutely. And I think that I'm unique in that here, because I know what they like just like, because my family is from Barbados, and so without even growing up here, I know them, what they like. So I somehow feel confident in that I can convince them, through sound.
How you starting a completely different career and then becoming an artist? Was there any issue, family issue, or how your family took the change? Because it's a drastic change.
Yeah, so I would say that I was working and I met my husband and we started a family, and I took on the family, like taking care of the family as like a housewife.
Okay.
And
but you were,
sorry
I interrupt, you were working before as a corporate?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
In corporate, and before that in government, because my studies are in diplomacy and international relations. So it was the public sector and then the private sector, and then become a mom and looking for ways to express myself creatively. I did a lot of photography, like when I was pregnant and when the children were really small, and I still do, but not as much as I used to. Well, DJing or music has always been a part of it. And I think with COVID, I just bought new decks, and I thought, this is my time now. I'm just gonna like focus on this, get this passion going. Then we moved here, and I didn't have any decks here, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to buy myself some decks, and I'm going to get back at it. And there was some like resistance to me doing it because I do have the children to look after, but I also need to do something for myself.
Of course.
But I think a lot of people don't remember that, that like just because you have children that you're like now like and then like a lot of people don't see it as a like real job, It's like, well, I earn money and it looks fun, but it actually takes a lot of mental gymnastics.
Effort, of course. Like
it's draining. It's actually it's quite draining. Like everyone wants to talk to you after a set, but you just do not understand how tired a DJ is after. I mean, if it's someone who's actually DJing live, and don't tell me if they are actually creating the sound live. I mean, it's a musician, like exhausted because you're putting everything into that.
Well, so it was more actually like after becoming a mom, it's something that you consider working on this, or how?
Well,
how
even before, but
But how was the transition? I'm really curious because you started DJing really young, but then you went to university and you did totally something totally different.
Yeah.
So, and then now you are a mom and you travel and you are a DJ and you earn your money, you pay your bills with that. And it's like, how was that transition?
It just, I mean, when you say it like that, that's literally how that's it. That's it. There was no transition. It was just okay, I used to do this before. I'm start doing it again. And I just keep getting booked.
Okay.
So it's like the universe saying, yes, this is your path, and thank you for even saying it like that to me, because I'm just like, oh, everything's just happening organically. And it's like, no, actually, the universe is opening because this is for you.
Wow. It's really inspiring. May I ask you, maybe this sounds a bit rude, but how old were you when you decided to start?
So I said, so I finally got an opportunity about 14 years ago. So I was about 24. Mm-hmm. But I have been watching people, I've been in the music industry when I was in university, listening to DJs on the radio and dreaming. And also I was into radio in high school. We had a radio show in high school. We had like a radio program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something I was always interested in. And I think I've just always been doing it in my head. And that is really where it comes from. Like, I've been dreaming about it, and maybe no one knew. Because a lot of people are like, well, I didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, well, you don't know everything about me. Like the things that I'm doing in my mind that I haven't done in the physical realm yet.
And it's funny because it doesn't matter your background, you always have art in some shape or form. Yours is music, mine is photography. I used to be a nurse, a dental nurse.
Wow.
And when I tell people I work as a photographer, they're like, how did you become a nurse? Like they don't understand it, but it is like an pandemic. Was a hit because we had a lot of time for ourselves and to kind of understand what we want, what we needed.
Yeah.
A lot of people got connected to art through that time.
Yeah, I think that's also important. That's an important point to make. Just to remember what you need at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. What do I need to be happy? Because you can only make yourself happy. And that's essentially it. That is essentially it. It's like, I'm exhausted, I'm drained, I feel, I just want to be happy. And what makes me happy? And you just have to do the thing that makes you happy.
Yeah, but for some people it's really difficult. So we are getting to the end of this lovely episode, and I'm really grateful for you accepting this invitation. I have the opportunity of meeting a lot of artists in this trip, and there are some particular ones that I say like this align with AwakeNomada, and so you align, and I'm really grateful for you giving me this time
I'm
to
so
be
grateful
here.
for you.
Honestly, so what I do now, like normally, is that think on a young woman that wants to be an artist. What would you say to this woman, or to this man? It can be a boy, a girl, whatever, to inspire. What would you say? So I'm gonna leave this space for you. The camera is just gonna be you. So please take it out.
Think of the younger me, the younger version of myself that really wanted to get into DJing and photography, and was listening to the noise of people telling me, like, no, like that's not a good way to use your time. You can't make money on that. Like, just completely get rid of all that noise. And because I think as teenagers and young people, we're so connected to who we really are, and it's the distractions from other outside people that kind of just takes away our focus from that which we need to focus on. So I would say that thing that is calling you is never going to stop, you know? So just run with it, run towards it. Don't hesitate. You're going to have, like, nothing's perfect, you know? The path is not straight. Path is like this. And even when you maybe find yourself in a valley, go back to the thing, to the art, to the expression, the artistic expression that helps you to connect with yourself. It might take time to find that, or maybe you always know. You always know, actually. You do, but you don't make time for it. So just make time for it.